There's a new game out for MetaQuest headsets that seems to have arrived pretty quietly, but has quickly built an audience of strong fans. And there's a reason why, because Megacity Patrol is not like a game that you've played before. So Megacity Patrol is a sci-fi, extremely Blade Runner-esque experience. It's being developed by a really small studio of just 2 people. And as far as I can tell, it's their first VR title. And if this is what they're starting with, we should definitely be keeping an eye on what comes next. Megacity Patrol is a thoroughly enjoyable sci-fi experience. It does have some issues, which we'll get to, but by and large, this is a game that's definitely worth looking into. So Megacity Patrol is realistically a game of 2 parts. The first is when you're in your air car and you're flying around an open city looking for crimes to engage with, to solve. It's called Patrol because you are literally just patrolling the sky around the city. The air car controls, I'm not going to explain them here because it'll actually sound more confusing than it is in play. And the way it works is that there are points of interest around the map that you can drive/fly to, and once you lock into them, you will automatically land in those areas. And there's 2 halves to the city. This sky travel in your air car is one half, and once you lock into these destinations, the car will automatically go down to the lower city, which is where you enact on foot. The on-foot sections are where you actually solve the crimes. There'll be simple things like locating items or taking out rogue androids and so on. There's nothing particularly complex going on here, but it's fun. You'll have an icon appear on the map and you have to work your way through the location to find the destination that you're getting to and then engage in whatever task you've been set. Often these tasks are simply eliminating rogue androids, and you don't have health or anything like that because they don't really fight. You just have to go there and shoot them and then claim your reward. And as you go through, you can return to the police station, the police HQ, in your air car and spend the credits that you've earned to buy upgrades. It's a really simple system, a really simple game loop, but it's something that does have you coming back. There's a wealth of opportunity for the developers to add in new varieties of mission types and new upgrades that you can buy and so on, making this game quite open-ended. It's not a roguelike. You're not going to be dying and then coming back and taking on the same challenges but stronger this time. Nothing like that. It's a really simple gameplay loop, but it's an engrossing one. It is thoroughly enjoyable. That said, there are some issues with the game. For example, there are many times in which I got a new mission given to me and I pressed the button to accept and I was told, oh, the location for this has appeared on your HUD. But no location marker did appear. It was only if I was already familiar with where I was in my air car in the skies above the city and I knew where I was set to go that I could then travel to that place. Several times when I had no idea where I actually was in location to my destination, I just had to quit the mission. I just had to cancel it and wait for another one to come in. And this is actually even more annoying when you're on foot. You know where the destination is, so you fly to it, you lower yourself down to the lower city, get out of your car, ready to take on some action, and nothing happens. You have a little bit of information about what you're doing, and generally there are clues. For example, using the example I've been using of taking out rogue androids, generally you'll find that they are running around and behaving erratically, whereas other civilians are just walking at normal pace. So you can identify what is the target in this mission. However, you're not given any guidance to find them. So you can often spend 5 minutes just wandering around an empty space trying to find the rogue android, who then very obviously gives you the clue that they are the rogue android. Hidden away within the city, there are quite a few mini-games. I found a couple while playing the game, and I'm sure there's more that I did not find. Some of them have no instruction, or at least the ones I found have no instruction, so it's quite hard to work out what you're actually supposed to be doing sometimes. When you enter a dojo and a dragon symbol on the wall starts spitting out bottles and things at you, I tried to shoot them. Nothing happened. I tried to grab them. Nothing happened. So I'm not really sure what I was supposed to be doing in this minigame. I'm also not sure what the rewards for doing such would be, other than a high score chart that appears on a screen on the wall. These minigames and the mission types and the reward system, the upgrades that you can buy and so on, these need to be fleshed out quite thoroughly. There is a wealth of opportunity, as I say, to do so. So here's hoping that the developers invest more in the game and bring more of these aspects to players. As I said at the start of this review, the game is a very Blade Runner-esque experience, and I don't think anyone's going to be offended by me saying that. I'm pretty sure the developers are fans of science fiction and futuristic dystopias and so on. And this comes across not just in the fact that you're often chasing rogue androids and that you're a police officer or anything along those lines, but also in the style of the game. It is thick with Blade Runner-esque visuals. Towering skyscrapers with reflective windows and neon signs everywhere. And then when you go down to the lower city, often it's quite dingy and dirty by comparison to the abundance of wealth that exists at the top of those skyscrapers. It is incredibly well delivered, even for a big team. But this is just 2 people. Furthermore, the soundtrack supports this elegantly. It is a very well delivered soundtrack. Slow, mundane music in the background, giving you a creepy atmosphere of something not being quite right. And that makes for a perfect morally ambiguous scenario of you being a police officer given these missions, and some of them are about murdering cyborgs, androids. So Megacity Patrol is a really enjoyable game as it stands, and there is a huge amount of opportunity to improve the game and build upon it and make it better in many respects. But the gameplay loop that's there right now is already thoroughly enjoyable. The difference between the air car sections and the on-foot sections, they blend so well, and there's no loading times between. Well, I mean, there's probably some disguised loading times while you're in that descent, but you're not cutting out of the experience. You're sat in your car, lowering down into that lower city. It's like the developers have had years of experience making smaller VR games, and this is what they've come to. Not being, what, as far as I can find, the actual first VR title. So Megacity Patrol is a highly recommended experience for anyone that has a want to see something new in VR. For people who are just getting their VR legs in their first experience, maybe wait a few months and see what kind of updates the developers have planned. But for people that have been in VR for a long time like myself, don't miss out on Megacity Patrol.